big news coming in of the identity of at least one of these terrorists. We understand that the LET terrorist Shahid has been neutralized, and Shahid was one of those 3 terrorists who have been killed, and that is what Yawar was telling us as well. Yawar, you did touch upon briefly in your first answer as to what exact one of the identities of one of the dreaded Lashkar commanders, Shahid, who has been eliminated here. Take us through his details, his antecedents. We understand that his house had earlier been demolished in the immediate crackdown that had happened against the properties of terror operatives in the valley right after Pahalgam.
Well, exactly. If you talk about his, profile, he was involved in the carrying out the strikes on the tourists in the, Anantnag, carrying out the strike on the TA soldier in the Kulgam, and also he was involved in the carrying out the strike on the BJP serpent. So this was the scene, and he was in a category militant and was holding the position of top commander in the ranks. And exactly, we have been continuously witnessing that how the security forces are eventually, coming heavily down on these networks. And recently his house was also, destroyed in an operation after the Pahalgam carnage. So we have been witnessing that these developments are taking place in the Kashmir Valley. Talking about the profile, since he was active over a couple of years, and he was mainly having the, influence in the belt of Pir Panjal or in the elsewhere in the Shopian, Pulwama. His presence was, mutually witnessed there. Now the security forces had earlier, launched a search operation here where he has been neutralized. Earlier, the security forces, they had maintained that there's a massive search operation that has been initiated there, and without giving any official confirmation that time, the security forces maintained that the 3 bodies were spotted. And after that, the sources also indicated that one among them was the Shahid. Since this was a very crucial operation, that's why it takes a bit of a more time for the security forces to get the identities of this. And in fact, we also accessed some of the pictures from the encounter spot, where you can see that a huge cache of arms and ammunition, including some of the medicines, AK-47 rifles, grenades, and bullet rounds have been recovered from his position. If we talk about this suspicion, he is having a role of many suspect, attacks in the Kashmir Valley, which is the ongoing role under the investigation of various agencies in the Kashmir Valley. And yes, the officials are saying that they are going to come up with the entire details shortly from now, as this search operation is still intact in the area. Back to you.
All right, Yawar, do stay on with us. Let's also go back to Pradeep. Pradeep, Yawar was telling us about the links of Shahid Ahmed with the Pahalgam terror attack. So this is important for us to note that even with Operation Sindoor, the focus on avenging the immediate loss of those 26 civilians and taking on those who are directly responsible for this atrocity also remains top on the priority of our forces. And Shahid Ahmed's elimination is the first step in that regard.
No doubt about that. India has made it clear that neither they are going to forgive the killers of Pahalgam massacre, nor they are going to forget that. And that's one of the reasons that for the last several days, the multi-pronged operation had been going on. And these terrorists were hiding like rats in their burrow. Today morning, then when they got information about this hideout, immediately cordoned that area. And these rats came out, they opened fire. And in the meantime, the cordon was for the Titan. And in ensuing encounter, we saw that Shahid was eliminated. Shahid has been active in this area of South Kashmir, like Pulwama and Shopian, for the last 2 years, and is responsible for terror-related incidents. And you rightly said his house was also demolished just a few days back by the security forces, because security forces have made it clear that they are going to demolish all those terror den across the border, as we did during Operation Sindoor, and terror den inside the border, in the hinterland. So they are going to target them too. But unfortunately, there were some netas like Mehbooba Mufti, they started beating their chest. They are saying that how the houses of the innocents are being targeted. Now you look at arms and ammunition. He was not carrying the chocolates in his hand. He was not carrying those sweet boxes that were to be distributed among Kashmiris. Simply they wanted to target Kashmiris, kill them, because Pakistan cannot see smile on the faces of Kashmir Valley. They cannot see peace and prosperity in this region. I think our netas need to understand they should not open their mouths so far as security-related incidents are concerned, because their commentary is only going to embolden and encourage these anti-national elements. I think they should stop uttering words in their favor and glorifying them. Today also she has tried to glorify one of the Air Vice Marshal of Pakistan having a name Aurangzeb, saying that how he is giving a training so far as modern warfare is concerned. But she had no vote for AP Singh, Air Marshal, who is the main hero, because he was the one who was leading from the front, and he was the one who had chosen air warriors to decimate those terror hubs and also to inflict maximum damage on those bases. But unfortunately, these mainstream political party leaders, they are wearing the cloak of the mainstream political party leaders, but they are basically no less than separatists, and their hearts seem to be beating for Pakistan. I think they should stay mum, and these people cannot be well-wisher of people of Kashmir Valley, because they have only brought death, destruction and devastation because of the gun that has come from across the border, and they are the ones who are helping Pakistani terrorists. That's one of the reasons that already the message is loud and clear. We are going to avenge Pahalgam massacre. Whosoever had been supporting those terrorists will be going after them, will kill them, eliminate them, and ensure that they are not able to raise their ugly head again.
Indeed, Yawar, let us take it's a big win for security forces, not just in the fact that they have been able to neutralize these three terrorists, but also the fact that they had received credible intel. We were talking earlier about how earlier in this morning, there were posters put up in Shopian with the details and the look and the sketches of these terrorists asking for information and promising a reward. This indicated that it is also an intel win for our forces. Far too often we criticize them when there's an intelligence failure. It's also important for us to acknowledge when there's an intelligence victory for our forces also.
Well, exactly. These were the two, separate things. So one, the poster that came up in the Shopian is something that's different from this operation that has been initiated here. But you were right. Basically, this was a credible input from the army that there's a presence of these militants in the area. Because this is a dense forest, so that's why it takes a bit of a more time for the security forces to basically ensure that where exactly this hide is, because they don't want any sort of collateral damage during action. That's the reason we have been witnessing that continuous this operation was going on, and no details were provided in the initial stage. After that, when the security forces have finally got them, we got to know that one among them is the Shahid and one is the Adnan, and in fact one more is unidentified. He's likely a Pakistani. However, we have to wait for the official confirmation about his details and other anecdotes as well. Talking about the perspectives that have been put in place. See, after the Pahalgam carnage, we have been witnessing over hundreds of the operations that have been initiated, be it in the form of grilling the OGWs and the terror suspects, or booking them under the PSA or the Lawful Activities Prevention Act. We have been line at length covering those actions by the security agencies. But on the other side, the security forces has continuously maintained that at multiple locations, without disclosing any proper location, the operations have been initiated in order to neutralize the militants, and this is the reason we have been witnessing that they got a big success. As I told you earlier when we spoke, that this is the first biggest operation in the Kashmir Valley. Rather, it's a big success for the security forces after the Pahalgam attack, that the top commander of TRF has been killed, his deputy has been killed, and one more militant is also neutralized in this encounter.
Okay.
But the area is being sanitized and warlike stores have been recovered, so that we have to wait for the confirmation of another militant who has been killed.
All right, I'm also being joined by Lieutenant General Asif Mistry on the phone line as well. But before I go across to Lieutenant General, let me also quickly get in an update coming in from Suhail. Suhail, our colleague Yawar was telling us about the fact that at least one or if not two of these terrorists who have been encountered today are believed to be foreign nationals from Pakistan. If true, this does indicate a potentially bigger problem, that under cover of all the ceasefire violations that we have seen over the past several days in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor, it is possible that infiltration remains a key security threat as well.
Well, yeah, yes, of course. We have seen in past ceasefire violations are always being used as a cover fire for infiltrators, for those terrorists who attempt to infiltrate. But the details has not come from the Indian Army or BSF whether they had detected any such infiltration attempt on a line of control or not, because our security forces, our army jawans were very actively engaging and responding to the situation along the line of control, be it Rajouri, Poonch, in Uri, Kupwara. But matter of the fact is that the terror groups who are based in POK or in Pakistan, they always attempt to infiltrate under the cover of these infiltration attempts. Shelling is being done by Pakistani army. Sniper rifles are being used by Pakistani army only to ensure that those terrorists, in fact, are pushed into Kashmir. But this time around, the response of our armored forces was very intense. There was, in fact, the army and BSF, which is deployed along the line of control, they had ensured that the Pakistani army and, in fact, the terror groups operating from Pakistan and POK are taught a lesson, as a result of which we have seen in Operation Sindoor, 9 terror bases were targeted. And this time around, what we are picking up from the open sources is that the morale of those terror outfits is quite low, quite down, because of the precise terror attacks that the Indian Armed Force, along with Indian Army, has done in fact, in POK and Pakistan, where in fact the terror camps of Lashkar-e-Taiba and Jaish-e-Mohammed have been targeted. But yes,
all right, Sohail Yawar, thanks for getting us those updates here from Shopian. We'll keep coming back to you, but we've got